Welcome. You are listening to the Overseas Life Redesign podcast, where you'll hear fun, relaxed, and inspirational interviews with people who are really living the dream. I'm Dawn Fleming, an attorney turned alchemist, and your host for the show, coming to you from the tropical island paradise of Isla Mujeres, Mexico. Listen to conversations with courageous souls who've stepped out of their comfort zone and designed a new way of life. They'll share their experiences, wisdom, and offer practical steps you can take to redesign your life overseas. Listen and you'll believe. If you can dream it, you can achieve it. Okay, I'm here with Kari and Sam Skaggs, and we're excited to talk with them today about their overseas life. Thank you so much for being here, Kari. Would you like to tell us a little bit about how this all came about?
Yeah, thanks, Dawn, for asking us to do this. Okay, so how Seas, Trees, and RVs is the name of our journey.
I love it.
You want to know how it came about? Okay. In 2014, we were vacationing here on the 10th time or something like that, and after that vacation, we were preparing for our military retirement, both of us, in that year, for the next year. And we started talking about what it would be like to live down here in the future. And it was just a conversation that we had at the beach one day, and then that was it for a long time. And then in 2015, I retired. Sam was already retired. And then we kind of started talking about, kids going off to college and all those kinds of things were happening within the next few years. And the conversation turned into a whiteboard, and the whiteboard turned into tasks. And then we kind of just said this, evolved into kind of like a no kidding, like a project. It was fun. There was no, whatever, but no commitment at the time. It was just fun. And then 2016, we started talking about the reality of this has just been fun because we really make this happen. So that's how it started. It was on a conversation on the beach, and then a whiteboard, and then eventually we sold our home, bought an RV, moved into it, and went on the road in 2017. And we're about to go into the third season of full time.
So this is about a 3 or 4 year period?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was 2 years of no kidding planning, and then we executed in 2017, and we're about to go into our third season of living abroad full time.
Right. So, awesome. So you're headed back to the States to do some RVs?
Yeah. We're gonna leave Isla here on Tuesday. We're going back to Arizona, picking up the RV. I'm gonna knock out the rest of the continental United States before we come back here in the winter or the spring. Yeah.
Okay. So, aside from just enjoying the beach, were there other motivating factors that made you want to make this move?
I would say there were a lot of factors, but we had dual pensions, and we kind of looked at reversing it and thinking about our kids are all gone. We're healthy, we're young, we have a heart for travel, so why not do this now wait till we're a little bit older and maybe limited by whatever health conditions or grandchildren or just things. So we kind of just decided, we sat down with our financial advisor,
okay,
and said, this is what we want to do. And she looked at our portfolio, and she didn't know that we had a number that we had kind of played with on that blackboard. And our budget. Yeah, and she said, I think if you can do this, then you should go for it. And we looked at each other, and we had chills, and we gave each other a high five because she was within $100 of our number.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So that gave us the motivation to actually execute the whiteboard thing that we had been doing.
And the confidence, right?
It gave us confidence in ourselves and in the dream, so to speak. And so things started moving, and we had this blackboard, and when we had in the military, I was, what was that thing called? Six Sigma or black belt, whatever. So that's what I was kind of doing. And we get the big rocks, little rocks.
Uh-huh.
And when we got to the hard stuff, like list the house, tell the kids, blah, blah, blah. We'd sit down, we'd pray about it, we'd talk about it. And if it got hard, we just didn't force it. But looking back, everything was so easy that every time we were at a crossroads, the answer would just appear. So we just went with it. And it happened way faster than we thought it would.
Yeah.
So we just followed the plan, and here we are. So I don't know.
Is the reality matching the vision pretty closely?
I don't know. I mean, I would say that yes and no. Yes and no. I mean, it was. It's more and it's less and it's different and it's so many. It's so many different things. It's like I don't think that I had a full vision. Honestly, I just knew that I wanted to try it. I didn't. As much as we planned it out, I hadn't thought it out in the sense of what was I really expecting.
So you didn't have a lot of preconceived notions about what it was going to actually be like?
Not really, no. Maybe a little bit on the RV side of it I did. Because I spent some time as a child in an RV and traveling with my family for a few months and stuff at the time. So that was my mental image, and it's definitely, with the two of us, it's definitely far different than it was as a child, but it's definitely been awesome.
Cool. So any struggles that came up along the way?
Yeah. I think zero regrets, but in the first, we have a little, I don't know, like a YouTube thing that we kind of played around with or whatever. We told our first year review, and in that we shared you have a plan, and there were some things, some embarrassing moments and mistakes that we made with the RV and the truck, learning curves, but our rules were nobody gets hurt, nobody's bleeding, anything can be replaced or get fixed. And we've been thankful enough and blessed enough that none of that's happened. But yes, in the beginning, we had some getting on our feet things happen. They're funny now, they weren't funny then, but they're all lessons learned. And then you learn from them, and then you go forward knowing, just learn from your mistakes and don't let them become stumbling blocks.
Do you want to share any of those funny stories?
Boy, I was trying to change. I wasn't fast enough. I was trying to change the gears on you.
I knew you were. I could tell.
Okay, hopefully I'll remember my thought after this. Sure, I will. I'm not the storyteller that Kari is, but since this was my story, I will. We had just purchased the fifth wheel and the brand new truck, and we were maybe 10 days, no, not even 10, I don't know, about a weekend, and the place we were staying just was at the military base near where we lived, because we were still transitioning, and I was actually still working. Had a few days left on my job as a government service guy, and anyway, so we had to move sites because we were required to move, and I had to dump anyway and all that. So I go and hook up like normal, or so I thought. There's a thing that goes like this and a thing that goes like that. You check this and you check that. Well, there's a third thing that I never checked before, but I always check now.
Yeah, now we have a process for this thing.
Right, and we always talked about having checklists and all that. Anyway, we hadn't got that far. I went to pull forward that day, and all of a sudden, our whole house, if you will, our fifth,
oh no,
fell right on the back of the brand new truck. On the bed.
Yeah.
Luckily, it's a pretty badass truck, but it did dent in both sides of the bed, and did some minor cosmetic damage on the bottom of the trailer. But anyway, so she's standing about, I don't know, a couple hundred feet away talking to a lady, and
the lady grabbed my hands and she goes, she was a weathered RVer full timer, and she goes, "Honey, just stand right here and look at me and don't turn around. He's not breathing, or he's not bleeding." And she's the one who taught me. She goes, "Okay, I've been doing this for 20 years. He's not bleeding. He's fine. Nobody's hurt. Take a deep breath, count to 10, and turn around and look what just happened. But everything's going to be okay." And I turned around, and I just saw our home, our brand new home, laying on our brand new truck, and I saw him, and we didn't even I don't think we talked for 2 hours. There was no words. We just sat. We were shocked because we were literally pulling out to start our grand adventure in 2 days. We had the going away parties. We had kissed the babies and done all the things, right? So what we did, and I've seen Sam cry a handful of times over things like this, and it was one of those days. So we just said, you know what, this is what we're going to do. And we quickly gathered ourselves and came up with a plan. We got, fast forwarding, we got the truck into the shop by godsend the next day, got everything replaced, didn't tell anybody that anything, because we were kind of embarrassed and humiliated,
Well, it was just a slight mechanical miscalculation, right?
Yeah. It was a very expensive mistake. Thank God we had good insurance.
Right, exactly.
But everything was fixed, and we took off. And what we really did was we rented a hotel close by while they thought we had left, and we didn't tell anybody because we didn't want to, relive the event. We were dealing with it enough, but it all got fixed. Nobody got hurt. But it's one sound that you'll never, ever, ever want to hear in our park.
Yeah, you'll probably not ever get that out of your head, right?
No, I sat in the truck for probably 2 minutes after that, just slid down in my chair and was like, oh my God, what have I done?
I can't believe I did that.
It was bad. It was bad.
It doesn't make me feel any better, but when that happened, when I took it in, they were like, this happens all the time, and I'm like, great, so I'm an average idiot, whatever. So. Anyway,
it was.
Would you repeat the original question to help me? Because I want to make sure that my other answer that I was thinking about is online.
Oh, okay. I think we were talking about motivation before we went into the story, or challenges.
Challenges, yes. This one, to me, it's unrelated to that at all.
Okay.
It's more of a family kind of a challenge in the sense that we knew that there might be some, pushback or whatever. There really wasn't. I mean, the kids were like, I don't think they believed we were going to do it, first of all.
It's true. Nobody really thought we'd execute.
But the one that struck me the oddest was we have never lived near other family. So now that we're not living in a brick and mortar home, suddenly it was, now we're needed to be around family to, you guys are never here. Well, we haven't been there for 30 years, however many years. It's like, it was that was a challenge for us. It's like, we really, that was.
We were a military family. So we blended about, 10 years, almost 10 years ago. So yeah, we had same situations with both of our families, but that was a challenge because suddenly it was like almost guilty. We were made to feel a little bit guilty for kind of chasing our dreams and doing our thing in a way, or at least we felt a little bit guilty, and we had to kind of grow through that, no, we're gonna,
So it sounds like there was a little bit of a psychological reaction to this idea about moving out of the country from your family.
Yeah.
Is what you're saying.
And some friends and very close, they were kind of like a little bit, they were happy for us, but at the same time they were hurt by it, and we got through that. We worked through all of that. But one thing we've kept honest to that is we made a promise to our children, for us, not for them. No, they didn't ask in this, but we wouldn't go 6 months without us seeing them. And it's either they come to us or we go to them. And we're going into 3 years of this, into the third season, and we've honored that. Mm-hmm. So it's just kind of worked out that way organically. And now they come to us because they want to see us, not because it's like, we have to go on this family vacation. And we've had the best. They started out as challenges, but now to just tie that up pretty nicely. Actually, we've had the best time with our kids since we've done this. We have the better relationships with our, with our families, with our friends, with our kids. They're, in their 20s now too. They're, doing their own lives, but it just seemed like we stepped away from the subdivision life, so to speak, and now it's the time that we have with them is quality time.
Right.
We don't have drama and we don't argue, which is new to us. So it's really nice.
That's a bonus.
It is a bonus. So yeah. Oh, Mom, you're in. Where are you going? And our son will come out, and he spent 10 days on board with us, traveling up the Highway 1, last summer, and we just had the time of a life. Zach just left here. He was down here. He comes to Mexico with us every year, and all of our kids, Luke, all of them have been down here to visit my sister. The only people who haven't been here is my mom and dad, but they live in Arizona, so.
Okay. They'll come.
Afraid of the heat. More heat.
So, yeah, I guess that kind of leads into my next question is any transformations that took place, aha moments due to, new perspectives or relationships, experiences?
I would say our relationship, some of our friends and people that, Sam and I live very passionate lives. And so if we're arguing, we're arguing. If we're happy, we're happy. That's just us. And, people said, oh, we'll give you a few months in an RV, 900 square feet, you won't last it. No, actually, it's the being in smaller spaces, even in Isla Mujeres, when we're here, we live in a small apartment, it's developed our relationship and strength because there's no time for arguments. You work stuff out. When you have a big one, there's a big backyard, or, go walk around the Selena or go to the beach or whatever. I feel like it's living simpler and living with less stuff, less stimulation of, things and jobs and whatever the outside world has helped us to develop. We're closer now than we've ever been. That's not to say that we don't argue. We just argue differently now, or we resolve things differently.
That's not true.
So yeah. I mean,
That's good,
yeah. We still have challenges. People think we're on this permanent vacation, but we're really not. We're just living life differently, So that's a little bit of a challenge for us. People always say, "Oh, it must be nice," or "Oh, da 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 da."
Oh yeah.
We worked really hard for a long time to earn the right to be able to do this. It wasn't easy. We made sacrifices in the front to pay for what we're doing now, and so we still struggle with kind of explaining that to people sometimes that think we're just kind of, I don't know, they think we're trust fund babies or something. It's no, we're not.
Right.
You
have a plan, you have a budget.
We have a budget, we live to a budget.
Well, that's also one of the kind of epiphanies that we did have was when we were constantly, feeling we made all these sacrifices back then, right? And then I had this aha moment one day, and I was like, yeah, but what about the sacrifice that we made that most people wouldn't have the courage to do? We gave up our home and all that normal,
stuff?
Just stuff that everybody just continues to accumulate more. That's normal. But that was a big, not just sacrifice, but it was just a big jumping off. It's
yeah.
I don't think most people can do that. People would talk to, oh yeah, we'd love to do that, but I just don't know if I could not have a home base.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's
we hear that a lot. People are, what about our stuff? What about, and the answer is it can be done. You just got to plan for it. You got to want to do it. But so we've learned that, we thought we were attached to our stuff too. And as we let it go, it was so freeing. And so you just felt when we drove away from our house that day, we weren't sure emotionally how it was going to feel.
Right.
And I have a picture of him in his motorcycle driving off, and we were high-fiving, and we kind of waited for the other shoe to drop and to feel that are we going to cry? And we were just you know what? This house blessed us. It blessed our family. Let it bless someone else. And it was good, but we just never looked back.
On to the next adventure.
Next.
Yeah.
What's next?
Yeah.
We went back and looked at it a year later.
And we still were no, it served its purpose. And it's taught us how it feels to be not attached to things and put more joy and more presence in relationships, people that you meet along the way. I mean, I might get a little emotional, even talking about it, but it's the people that you meet along the way, it's just, that's your family, know? And you may only have spent a night or two with them having dinner here, but you connected on this level that you may have never connected, and you lived next to them for 5 years. And guess what? We're getting ready to get back in the RV, and we're going on our route, and we're meeting people that we met down here in Mexico, in Minnesota, in Michigan, in Canada. Canada wasn't even on the route. And now we're going to Canada for a week to spend time with people that we connected with here in Mexico. That's just, our family's expanded. We haven't lost anything. We've gained this other family.
Community.
Community.
Yeah.
Community, so.
And now a quick break to hear from one of our sponsors.
Isla Mujeres is a Caribbean jewel off the coast of Cancun. Castilito del Caribe warmly invites you to enjoy our spectacular oceanfront villa located in the heart of El Centro and a short walk to Playa Norte, which is ranked one of the top 10 beaches in the world. With an ocean view of crystal clear turquoise waters overlooking both the Caribbean and Cancun city skyline, we offer a fabulous location for you to enjoy all the peace and tranquility you're looking for on vacation, while also taking in all the excitement the island has to offer, with activities either in walking distance or a golf cart day excursion away. Please visit CastilitoCaribe.com, www.CastilitoCaribe.com. We look forward to seeing you soon.
Welcome back to the Overseas Life Redesign podcast. Thank you so much for being here, and we invite you to subscribe if you like what you hear.
Sam, you want to talk about how this whole dynamic has felt for you, what that's been like?
Yeah,
Would you echo what she said?
I definitely echo the whole thing about the relationships. That's the coolest part. Is I like meeting new people. I'm still struggling with remembering names half the time, but if I do connect with them, I struggle with acquaintance, meetings.
Sure.
So I always assume, and it's not a conscious thought, but I always assume I'm never going to meet that person again, which is a mistake, because then I run into them 2 days later and they're like, "Hey, you, what's up?" So
it's a skill. You'll get better at it.
Yeah, it's definitely a skill that I don't possess naturally. I'll have to work at it. I totally agree that the relationships are good, and definitely the getting rid of the stuff was definitely freeing.
Yeah.
It is.
You learn to live. You learn. You had the big house in the yard, and I miss my bathtub and I miss our hot tub, because I'm a bather. But other than that, I don't miss. We don't.
You didn't clean it.
Right, it's true. But I just the connections and the adventures and the planning the route for this next fall. That's what he's been working on. That's been his purpose for the last month down here. It gives him purpose to have something. I have my side hustle that I do, and he has his. When he's in the RV, that's his job, so he has purpose, when he's in a lot of responsibility to pull our home around, so it's feeling that urge to kind of get back and start doing that and connecting the dots and seeing more things, and not just, we thought we wanted to be down and sit, still for 6 months, 5 months, and it's like after 2-3 months, it's like, we had the urge to move again. So,
yeah, I know you did some traveling when you were here this winter.
We went around different South, more than Yucatan, but we're going to do that again next year. Now, we love Mexico, we love the people of Mexico, we love everything about Mexico, but we want to explore more. Isla's given us that heart for okay, let's go see what we haven't seen.
Yeah.
Let's get off. Isla will always be here and will always come back, but yeah.
Awesome. Do you have any recommendations that other people who might be considering doing something like this do? Maybe, did you start slowly, come for a month, or I know some people have recommended that, or
you mean here on the island?
Or even just to this type of lifestyle that we're talking about.
I would say do your research, get involved. One thing I did before when we were just doing the conversations was he was still working, and I was had retired, so I'd spent a lot of time on the news groups, and do your research, find out about the communities, the people, the economics, the crime rates, all the things, because when you jump in and just have some level of education, because I feel like a lot of people jump in with this expectation that they're just going to, arrive, and then they're going to, I don't know what they think they're going to do. But
figure it out.
You really have to think about and know yourself, or you'll learn things about yourself in these kind of lifestyles that you didn't know. I thought I could do this, but this doesn't feel good to me. So just have an open heart and open mind. I'm not saying chase your dreams, follow your heart, do all those things. Those are real things that you really can do if you plan. But just have an expectation based on your research of what is your expectation,
I totally agree with that. I do know we run into people down here all the time, though, that there's so many stories that they just went home, packed a bag. They came for a short visit, packed a bag, came back, and that was it. They're going to live here. They don't have a job. They don't have a place to live. I would reserve that for the maybe under 30 crowd. I definitely would try that at 50 plus. So that's just me. But for the adventurous type, then definitely. And, even, everybody's different, so all the research in the world, and she did a lot, is very important, but one of my old favorite quotes, "Semper Gummi," always flexible. You gotta be flexible, because no matter how much preparation, you're not gonna. There's so many little nuances that there's no way you can prepare for until you've done here. One of the things you did mention, though, is like starting slow, and that worked for us because we came down many times in little short visits, and then as we got further along, it was like, okay, let's stay a little longer. Then we did like a month, I think, and then we thought we were jumping to 4 months until somebody had an incident on a trampoline at my 50th birthday party. There might have been some tequila involved. Anyway, so we had to leave early that year, but we got to find out that there is some really good medical care.
Good to know.
In Cancun.
Good lesson. We learned a lot. Everything's a lesson. Everything. Good, bad, it's all a lesson.
Right.
Yeah.
But definitely, I recommend, but that's based on us, the kind of the building up to it. But who knows?
And now, because of things we've learned about living, in another country this season, we're already starting to have conversations about once we knock out all the United States over the next year and a half, because we're about halfway through, we're talking about Europe. So we're already talking about what does that look like? What is it? What do we do? Do we buy? Do we rent? Do we spend a month, a year, 6 months? So we're starting those. We spent. That's where we met. Was in Germany.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, in the Air Force. So we're thinking about going back and spending a season in an RV, roaming around through Europe. I mean, why not?
Oh, that sounds fun.
So more to follow on that. But we'll see. Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
All right. Is there anything that I didn't ask you that you want to share? Or
I just think do it while you can, if you can, and if you have some sort of desire to travel, just do your research, plan, and just execute. Just do it. If you don't like it, you can always quit. You can always go back and go back to where you started and what's comfortable for you.
And I would say do it as early as you can, because life happens. We don't even know that we have the rest of today, let alone the rest of X number of years. So definitely do the planning, but take the leap.
There you go. What you said.
I love it. Well, thank you so much. You two are just delightful,
Thank
and
you.
really enjoyed spending the time with you. So,
Thanks.
do you want to? I know you've got a little side business. Do you want to share any contact information or website or anything?
Yeah. So I retired from the Air Force, went into massage therapy right away. Had a business for a couple of years. It was good. I sold it. Again, I kind of did that with why are you selling your business when it's good? And people ask me that, and I'm like, because we have this plan and this dream, and I'm going to bless somebody else with this business. And I sold it, and she's done well with it. Right into the road. I was always into oils. Kept coming across my path. Essential oils.
Oh.
And so it was a sign, and I'm all into signs, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to look into this, and I did. So I do essential oils. I'm a wellness advocate for doTERRA mobily, and I have, Bliss Wellness Essentials is my business, and I just kind of share organically and naturally as we roam around and trying to learn the best way to do that works for me right now. Sometimes it's just sitting down. Actually, what's working really well for me is I go around and I just talk to people, like have one-on-one conversations. Every once and again I'll do videos and teach different topics and stuff like that, and I'm learning how to feel more confident in that. But right now I'm just sharing oils as we roam around and helping one person at a time. And if people want information on that, I'm always available regardless of where we are geographically. And if I'm coming through your town, I will also offer massage if you want that. I have a table in the RV.
Awesome.
And you can find Bliss Wellness Essentials on Facebook under that name.
Okay.
You can also follow our travels under Seas, Trees, and RVs on Facebook and Instagram.
That's right.
Perfect. Thank you for sharing that.
We do more pictures and stuff like that than anything. But yeah, if you ever want to know where we're at or follow our journeys, it's Seas, Trees, and RVs. It's a fun little page.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Integrity Vacation Property Management. Trust, truth, results. From buyer's representative services to rental market analysis, staging, marketing, and full-service property management, achieving your goals is our top priority. Visit our website at www.integrityvpm.com and get our free guide, Self-Manage or Hire, a property owner's checklist of issues to consider. Contact us for a free consultation to see if we can help you maximize the return on your investments. Integrity VPM, raising the bar in vacation property management. This episode of the Overseas Life Redesign podcast was brought to you by our sponsors. Thanks for tuning in. Did you love this episode of the Overseas Life Redesign podcast? Then please subscribe to our show and leave us a nice review. It's very much appreciated. We invite you to visit www.overseasliferedesign.com and take the Are You Ready for an Overseas Life Relocation Readiness quiz. We'd also love for you to become part of our OLR community on Facebook. Thank you for listening.